What if I told you that the most powerful computers ever built are not faster computers, and that this single misunderstanding has distorted the future of technology? Quantum computers are not what you think, and the truth is far more interesting and far more limited than the hype. You have probably heard the claims that quantum computers will crack all encryptions. Quantum computers will replace laptops. Quantum computers will solve every problem instantly. Governments are racing, corporations are investing billions. Headlines talk about quantum supremacy as if the future has already arrived. But behind all this excitement lies a dangerous misconception. Because when we misunderstand technology, we don't just make bad predictions, we build the wrong future. By the end of this video, you'll understand what quantum computers actually are, why they don't work the way most people think, what problems they can solve, and why their real power has nothing to do with speed. This is not hype, this is reality. Before we talk about quantum computers, we need to understand something more fundamental. A computer. A computer is not a magic. A computer is physics made precise. Every computation, which includes every calculation and every decision, is constrained by the laws of nature. Classical computers work because classical physics allows stable states, that is, on or off, 0 or 1, true or false. This simplicity is their strength. At the heart of your phone, your laptop, and every server on the internet are bits. A bit is a physical system that can reliably be in one of the two states. That reliability is everything. When a classical computer calculates, it follows a deterministic path, step by step, instruction by instruction, state by state. Speed comes from doing this many times per second, not from doing many things at once. Quantum computing begins with a radical departure from this idea. Instead of bits, we use qubits. A qubit is not simply 0 or 1. It is a quantum system governed by wave mechanics. This means its state is described by probabilities, not certainties. But here's the first crucial correction. A qubit is not both 0 and 1 at the same time in any useful sense. That description is a metaphor and a misleading one. Superposition does not mean infinite parallel universes calculating for you. It means this. The qubit exists in a state where measurement outcomes are uncertain, and that uncertainty can interfere with itself. The real power of quantum computing comes from interference, not parallelism. Imagine waves on water. Two waves meet. Sometimes they reinforce each other, and some other time they cancel out each other. Quantum algorithms are designed so that wrong answers interfere destructively and right answers interfere constructively. This is not brute force. This is precision engineering of probabilities. The most common claim you will hear is this: quantum computers try all possible answers at once. This sounds intuitive, right? It also sounds completely wrong because it is. If quantum computers truly evaluated all possibilities, extracting the correct one would be trivial. But measurements collapses the system. You don't get all answers, you get one outcome. The challenge of quantum computing is not exploring possibilities. It's shaping probability so that the correct answer survives collapse. Entanglement is often described as a spooky action at a distance. That phrase has done more harm than good. Entanglement simply means the state of one system cannot be described independently of another. This allows correlations stronger than classical physics permits. But again, no magic, no faster than light communication, and no cosmic shortcuts. Just deeper constraints from quantum mechanics. Quantum computers excel at very specific problems. That is, simulating quantum systems, certain optimization problems, and factoring large numbers with caveats. They are not good at general computing, everyday tasks, and arbitrary speedups. This is why quantum computers are large, fragile, extremely cold, and extremely specialized. They are instruments, not replacements. Quantum computing is not the future of all computing. It is the future of some computing. If we believe quantum computers are universal super machines, we will misallocate resources, hype timelines, and misunderstand risks. The real future looks like this. Classical computers will still be doing most of the work, while on the other hand, quantum computers will handle rare and specific tasks. Hybrid systems will dominate. So it's not about revolution, it's about integration. Until now, quantum computing might sound elegant, but in reality, it is brutally difficult. Not because the math is hard, but because the universe itself does not cooperate. Quantum systems are fragile, extremely fragile. Any interaction with the environment, that is heat, vibration, radiation, or stray electromagnetic fields, destroys the quantum behavior. This destruction has a name: decoherence. Decoherence is not a bug. It is the natural tendency of a quantum system to become classical. In other words, the universe hates quantum computers. Most quantum computers operate just fractions of degrees above the absolute zero. Why? Because temperature is motion. Motion is interaction. And interaction collapses quantum states. Temperature of molecules of any matter is directly proportional to its kinetic energy. At room temperatures, atoms vibrate violently. At near absolute zero, motion slows enough for quantum effects to survive. This is why quantum computers are enormous, require massive cooling systems, and consume huge amount of energy just to stay stable. They are not sleek future laptops. They are physics experiments disguised as computers. Classical computers deal with errors easily. If a bit flips incorrectly, we detect it, we correct it, and we move on. Quantum computers, on the other hand, don't get that luxury. You cannot copy a qubit. You cannot directly check its value without destroying it. This makes error correction one of the hardest problems in the quantum computing. To create one useful qubit, you may need dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of physical qubits. Most of the current quantum computers are still mostly error management machines, not problem-solving machines. And here's a sobering reality check. When you hear about a 1000 qubit quantum computer, that does not mean 1000 useful qubits. It means 1000 extremely fragile quantum systems barely being held together long enough to run simple experiments. But this is not failure, this is progress. However, it's very different from the headlines. The phrase quantum advantage is often misunderstood. It does not mean quantum computers are better. It means for one very specific problem, under controlled conditions, a quantum system performed a task a classical computer could not efficiently reproduce. That's a narrow victory, and that's why it matters. Quantum advantage is not about domination, it's about possibility. Let's understand this with the toolbox analogy. Think of quantum computers like a new tool. A microscope does not replace the human eye. A telescope does not replace binoculars, but each reveals something previously invisible. Similarly, quantum computers reveal structures inside problems that classical computation cannot efficiently access. And that's their power. Nothing more, nothing less. The real future of quantum computing is quiet. It does not look like science fiction. It doesn't look like instant breakthroughs. It looks like specialized labs, hybrid algorithms, long development cycles, and incremental discoveries. Quantum computing will reshape chemistry, material science, and certain optimization problems, but it will do so invisibly, behind the scenes, just like quantum computing did at first. And here's a deeper philosophical point. Quantum computing forces us to confront something uncomfortable. Computation is not abstract, it is physical. Every algorithm is limited by the universe it runs in. And when the universe behaves probabilistically, computation inherits that uncertainty. Quantum computers don't escape physics, they expose it. So what's the final takeaway? Quantum computers are not faster computers. They are a negotiation with the reality itself, using interference, probability, and fragility to extract answers that classical logic cannot reach efficiently. They are powerful not because they break the rules, but because they obey deeper ones. So, if computation depends on the laws of physics and physics keeps surprising us, how much of intelligence, technology, and progress is still beyond our imagination? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.